there's an organization that has been dedicated to helping the community, and they are doing it in such a unique way. Kelly Walsh joins us now on the MegaCast. She's the president of Impact100 Metro Detroit. Kelly, thanks for being with us.
Honey, it's nice to see you.
How have I not heard of this organization before? Because as soon as I was reading your history, and you've been around since 2015, so it's not brand new, I was like, this is genius. Tell us more about it.
I agree. So Impact100 Metro Detroit has been around for 7 years. And the concept is it's women's collective giving, which is women coming together, pooling their financial resources to provide grants to nonprofits in the community. For Impact100 Metro Detroit, our membership model is where you work, live, and play. So we are Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County. And we just awarded our grants from our 2021 grant cycle 2 weeks ago. And that got us to $860,000 in the community since we've started. So we're incredibly proud of the work that we've done, of the organizations that we've supported, and even in the women that are involved in Impact100. And in some ways, we're not a secret. We're growing rapidly, and we're so appreciative of opportunities like this to tell more people about our brand. But we grow typically through like women's and relationships. So I joined because I met someone at a work event and she mentioned it to me, and I was like you, intrigued by the concept. Many of our members, you meet someone who's involved and then you become involved yourself. And so it's a little bit of hand-to-hand combat, word of mouth, and we're really trying to grow what we're doing and encourage people to find us and become more involved.
This is really such a great concept. Here I was, some of my neighbors, a bunch of us over here in the Sylvan, Waterford area, we have like a chick group where it's like, hey, this person needs, PR. Okay, do you know someone? Hey, this person needs someone in this arena. Who do you know? But of course, our centers around cocktails, but trying to lift one another up as well. But this is really on such a large scale. But what I like about it is the donation that people are making isn't so out of the realm that some people feel excluded. So how does that side of this work?
Yeah, so the concept is one woman at $1,000, and ours it's $1,100 a year, and then that $1,000 is pooled with other women to come together to provide the grants. And we believe in high impact grants in increments of $100,000. So with every 100 members, we're able to provide a grant for $100,000. Last year, we were at $252,000 to the community, so 252 members. And the idea of collective giving isn't new. It's been around for probably 20, 25 years. I've been a member for 3 years, and I have been, just even in the past 3 or 4 months, my eyes have been opened to the power of collective giving in many, many different ways. Even here in Southeast Michigan, there is an Impact100 Oakland. There's also an Impact100 Macomb. And we all were loosely affiliated, but completely separate organizations. And while Metro Detroit supports nonprofits that are operating in Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb, those other groups are more focused specifically on their counties. But the idea of $1,000 it's a stop and think gift, and we know that. And for many of our women, for a majority of our members, it's the largest contribution they've made to a single nonprofit. And that's somewhat intentional because it's a way to feel invested. When you become a member, you get a vote. So it's one woman, one vote, which is also really interesting because it allows you an opportunity to start to feel more invested and aware of what's happening in the community in a way that you mentioned your women that get together. You're gonna know what one another knows, and your awareness might not necessarily be the same as with Impact100, where we receive many, many, many applications from nonprofits every year, and our women have the opportunity, if they wish, to be part of the grant review process and read these grants where you understand the unmet needs in our community, and as importantly, you see who's trying to solve the problems and how your contribution, my $1,000, is absolutely life-changing to these organizations. I can't describe, we call it the joy of collective giving, which sounds maybe a little bit, esoteric, but when we hand that big check that says $100,000, I feel like I personally gave $100,000, even though it was just my $1,000. And so it really, we're empowering women to lean into their philanthropic power so that we're giving of our finances in addition to our time and our talents, where women tend to be more gravitated towards our time and our talents, just more naturally. And that's a piece that we're really trying to explore and grow.
So with that, Kelly, as someone who has covered Detroit for years, the need is so great. I always said I wish I would win the lotto just so I could be the fairy godmother and go around with my magic wand and help them support so many of these amazing causes. And a lot of them are just small nonprofits too that are neighborhood based, but others are larger as well. With the need so great, how do you pick and choose who gets the grants and who doesn't?
So it's our members, and that's also, and going back to our founders, our first year, there were 50 women. There were it started with 4 women on a couch or in a living room. They had a friend in Chicago that was part of a collective giving group in Chicago. They were intrigued by the idea and they said, do you think let's give it a go? And so then those 4 women managed to recruit 50 women. In that first year, Veronica Scott with the Empowerment Plan was the grant recipient. And I don't know if you're familiar with Veronica Scott and the Empowerment Plan, but she created a project when she was at the College of Creative Studies. She recognized that homelessness, there were 2 challenges. Number one, homelessness, that the homeless didn't have warmth in the winter, especially in Michigan, and that also there wasn't a path for employment for homeless, and particularly homeless with children. So mostly women, but some men that had families. And she had this incredible idea to take a coat and turn it into a sleeping bag. And in 2015, it was a little bit more than a college project. She had turned it into an organization, and she pitched to our women in addition to other finalists. And it's one woman, one vote. So the nonprofits, once they get to our finalist phase, they spend 5 minutes telling their project how our $100,000, or in this case $50,000, would impact their organization. And our women selected the Empowerment Plan. Veronica was part of a Women of Impact breakfast that we did virtually in the fall, and she said to us that was the largest amount of money that she received at that point, and it was as much as the money, it was a vote of confidence that there was a group of women who believed in what she did, saw what she did, and wanted her to continue to be successful. And I think I wasn't there, and I wasn't part of that 50, but I feel like that really put us in a point where our women, we tend to like organizations, just what you mentioned, that smaller organization, that $300,000 to $5 million mark, where $100,000 is the domino that tips them, that makes them go to that next level. And when you look at our past 7 winners now, Empowerment Plan, Downtown Boxing Gym, Maggie's Wigs for Kids Michigan, Lawn Academy, Micah 6 Community, and then now Developing Kids, and also Freedom House Detroit, they're all in that model where they're incredible organizations doing amazing things. But $100,000 is organizational change for them. They're not grants that they receive regularly, maybe if ever, prior to our money coming in. And our women see that in their application, in the pitch, in the nonprofit leader, and that just tends to be what our women have voted and gravitated towards. We've certainly had organizations of a variety of size apply and get to the finalists, but it's how our women have voted and how they've felt compelled throughout the process, and that's been really cool.
Kelly Walsh with us here on the MegaCast. She's the president for Impact100 Metro Detroit. Kelly, what's the last year been like for you and the women in the middle of the pandemic?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. our membership year is in a calendar. So women join. Our membership is open until December 31st. We close it in January, and then our final number is revealed to our membership and to the community, and then that tells us how much we'll be giving out in that grant cycle. So we had just closed our membership, and we were staring down very aggressive goals for 2022. And when the lockdown happened, we all kind of looked at each other, and we knew we were finishing our grant cycle. We were at the point where we were at semifinalists for our what we call the big reveal when we give the money. But we all looked at each other and felt like, oh, we're missing community. And we very quickly pivoted to being virtual for everything. We did weekly coffees and conversations where we were bringing in nonprofit leaders, we were bringing in mental health experts, we were talking about we were kind of in many ways one another's lifeline, and it wasn't just for members, it was open to all women. We had, I wish I could count how many virtual events, probably more than 20 virtual events over the year. And we interacted with over 1,000 women and men, but mostly women, in the community, providing just resources and information about how they could be involved, what nonprofits needed, what we needed for one another. And I think because of that, it really helped us have that, what you mentioned before, that sense of community. It was really hard. It's been hard for all of us. It continues to be hard for all of us. But in the way in that, never miss a waste a crisis kind of a moment, what we also learned was we were able to connect with women just even outside of Michigan, and we could help women connect with one another. There are friendships I have formed that I either just met them 2 weeks ago at our first in-person something, or I still have yet to meet them. And I really feel like I know these women because I've worked so closely with them over the past year. And I think all of us with work and many of us with our families, we were just looking for more and for a way to really feel like we were being a positive influence in our community. And Impact 100, pre-pandemic and definitely during and post-pandemic, has provided that outlet for many of us. Really, it was a lifeline for me over the past year, without a doubt.
So with that, looking forward into the summer and what we hope to be a post-pandemic summer, what are your goals for the summer?
So we are starting to do some in-person activities, some social activities, some volunteering experiences. We want to get out to many of our grant recipients and see what they've been doing. One of our grant recipients from last year was Micah 6 Community, and the money, the $100,000 grant, funded them the ability for them to grow their garden, specifically to create a hoop house and additional garden space, which they believe will more than be 4 times the amount of food that they'll be able to provide this year, which of course they're very volunteer driven, so they're going to need a lot of hands on deck. And so we're really excited to help them with that. Lawn Academy, which was one of our other winners from 2021, they are opening a second hub for students, and that is a space that the summer and the spring is a high time for them. So we hope to get out there and help the Lawn Academy and their students. And then we also are continuing. We've realized many of our women really want to continue virtual, so we have monthly coffee and conversations on the last Thursday of every month. On June 24th and July 27th, 26th, whatever those Thursdays are, I'm sorry, I don't know the dates off the top of my head, we'll be visiting with our grant recipients. So Kim Johnson with Developing Kids and Deb Drennan with Freedom House Detroit will be joining us so we can learn more about those organizations and about the Impact Grant as well as just their needs. And we're going to continue to have in the fall, we're going to be doing our Women of Impact breakfast in October, where we recognize and talk about issues important to women in the community. We are planning to have some other fun fall events. And then our membership closes on December 31st so that we can get ready to have our nonprofits apply for grants for the next grant season. So it feels like it's far away, but our goal is 350 members. We want to be able to give out 3 $100,000 grants and then 2 $25,000 grants in next winter or next spring. And this is the time when we need to be letting as many women know about us as we can.
So with that, how many members did you say right now?
Last year we just gave $252,000 in checks, so 252 women. We were so excited at our big give. We announced we were at 104 members. So we already know, no matter what, we're giving at least a $100,000 grant next year. But we tend to be the kind that really want to grow aggressively. So we're hoping to go from 252 to 350. And we can do it. We grew during the pandemic. We know we can grow outside of the pandemic as well, and especially now that we can all be together. And we're really looking for women who are part of groups just like what you described, that we can just let them know what we're doing. And if they feel called to be part of this, we offer scholarships for women where $1,000 isn't feasible for the year. We have many women who they join with a scholarship in the first year, and then they take advantage of pay over time in future years. We have many women who ask for scholarships every year. And our goal is to be as inclusive as possible and to make this be, if it's something that you feel is part of what you want to be part of, we want you to be part of us. And so our scholarships are funded through generosity of members who give more than their $1,000. And even though a woman might give more than $1,000, it's just one vote, which is so democratized giving is something that we really believe in. And we believe in that power that one woman, one vote, $100,000 into the grant is really what makes Impact 100 so special.
Kelly Walsh with us here, President for Impact100 Metro Detroit. Kelly, where can people find out more information?
Impact100metrodetroit.org. And then anyone's always welcome. We have emails, and you're always welcome to contact us directly as well. Facebook, LinkedIn. We have a brand new podcast that was just launched that will be coming out every few weeks, where we talk to local leaders in the nonprofit space.
Well, it's been such a pleasure having you with us here on the show. We so appreciate your time, but also all the work that you and all of the members are doing to help our community and make us stronger. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate it.